What is up, everyone? Today we're going to be going into Moonwell finance and kind of getting into where I see Moonwell going in the next couple of weeks to the predicted top of the cycle. And this is simply just going to be basing off of factors such as coins similar to Moonwell, what it's been doing specifically, and what we could see if base does have a very big pump. So especially with this coin being in DeFi and with base being supposedly a really good narrative, I thought this would be a coin to go over. We've gone over this coin for a while now. I've been in this coin since 3 cents, and I see this coin doing great numbers down the road. So again, we're not doing TA right now. More specifically, this is a coin that is very new, not too new in the crypto space, but new enough where predicting a market top of, an alt season that we don't even know for sure is going to happen. It looks like it will. But based off of that information, we're not going to be using technical analysis to see what a coin could be worth at the peak of an alt season. So we don't know the size or momentum magnitude of the alt season, but we can make guesses based off of what similar projects have done and what this project is doing. So this video is more specifically to go over why I think Moonwell is a strong project, and then just some numbers that we're just guessing what this could reach based off of similar projects. So again, I'm not making any claims, I'm just making estimates. Now, if I was telling you, what I see this coin doing the next week or two, I would be able to give you a TA on that. But for those, for an alt season high, we're not going to be able to do that too well. So just like to preface that, because I know a lot of people bring that up whenever I get into these videos. But just to clarify that, that's out of the way. The next thing is Kaizen is open for a waitlist. I will have that linked in the description below. Again, Kaizen's been able for me to make the most amount of money I have made within crypto. And that's literally happened since I joined late November. So I can attest to it doing very well for me. I've had some losses in there, but my wins have far exceeded that in Kaizen, and I've learned a lot being in that group. So again, I'm just bringing that up because I generally feel it does bring value. So that's open for the waitlist if you want to join that in the description below. But with that out of the way, we're going to get into Moonwell straight up. So Moonwell currently, if I go ahead and check the price, I believe it's around maybe 8 cents or so. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, so 8 cents, almost 8.5 cents. If we look at the 7-day chart, just earlier around like December 8th, we hit around 10 cents. And then in the month, we were able to actually, again, pick up to that 10-cent range. If you look at the year, we have shot up from where we were earlier this year. Again, in the summer wave, we were even at around, looks to be 1 cent at around fall. And then we were able to pick up. We got into the 3-cent range in October, where we finally picked up and gone very high. So Moonwell is definitely a coin that if you're able to get in early, you've seen some nice gains so far and you're still green. Again, we call this out at 3 cents, I believe, earlier in the year. And so I think this is a coin that still has immense potential with it. So the reason I'm so bullish on Moonwell, however, is because this is a coin that in the DeFi space and what it's doing is fairly undervalued, sitting around a $250 million market cap. And I see this coin doing very well compared to similar coins like it. So specifically, if we look at a tweet that Moonwell had, this was December 1st, Moonwell was able to achieve a $1 billion total market size, which essentially means it says the Moonwell core markets involved have reached an all-time high total market size of $1 billion. So that is giant because that means that Moonwell's system is being integrated a lot. There's a lot of people using the system and it's working out very well. You had Jesse on, there's 2 Jessies. There's Jesse Pollock and then there's Jesse on ETH or something like that. I forget his name. But specifically what he brought up was that in terms of like a big problem with these borrowing and loaning platforms is, let's say someone defaults on the loan. Well, what happens is there is collateral that can, be managed but there's also other methods in which the loaner can actually benefit more from that default. So essentially there are protections in place for if people default on loans, maybe their asset that they borrow drops significantly in value compared to what the person loaned it out for. There will be compensation for that in recovering that. So there are systems in check, because that is a major concern, of course, because if it doesn't have good systems in check, well, then the coin, of course, is going to fail because the system is failing as well. So specifically, if we look for a coin that is similar to Moonwell, in the same functionality, of course, AVE. So AAVE, so basically it's the same thing. It's another lending protocol. I believe this one is on Ethereum. And so what I like to do, because these are two similar projects, I like to go ahead and I like to check the market caps of both of these. So again, if we go to Moonwell, and if I go to Well here and we plug in AAVE, again, the similar project to it, AAVE is currently at a $5 billion market cap. Now, its all-time high was at a $8 million market, or $8 billion market cap, and I believe that achieved that if we go ahead and look in the previous cycle. But I'm gonna double check that just to make sure. Let's go ahead and see. And yes, so previously in the last cycle, AVE shot up and peaked in around March, April of 2021, when the 2021 cycle was going on. It peaked at a market cap of around $8 billion. So if Base has a nice run, and we're just comparing this off of AAVE, if Base has a nice run, Moonwell is doing more with it. I don't even think AAVE is doing what Moonwell is doing on the level that it is. Moonwell specifically, one big thing that I'm actually going to get myself is a Moonwell debit card. How many projects do you know that have released their own debit card and released ways for you to interact with the real world on chain? Moonwell is doing that. So completely big steps there in the right direction, I would say. And then Jesse Pollock, basically the guy who runs Base, to my understanding, he has talked about Moonwell in high regard as well, specifically with their debit card as well. And I think this is a great way to bring users on chain, to integrate aspects of the crypto world again with the real world. So I definitely think that there is huge potential with Moonwell, even at this price range. I think this price range is a steal because it's very undervalued from what it offers. And so if we do have that alt season where Base is one of the leading narratives, I think Moonwell specifically is going to go up pretty significantly. And if we look specifically at the market cap comparison with Moonwell and AAVE, so AAV, again, currently at 5 billion. If we compare that to Moonwell, that means Moonwell could reach $1.70, which is around a 20x from here, if it simply matches AAV's current MC. Now, I see Moonwell doing more things than AAV is doing. I see Base being a pretty big narrative. So I don't think it's unreasonable to go and look at the all-time high of AAVE being around $8 billion market cap, which would be around a 30x for Moonwell, putting you at $2.57. I don't see that being unreasonable if DeFi continues to be undervalued and we see immense interest going into DeFi with, again, more integration with the real world. Moonwell continues to do great numbers. I see this being a project that could hit that target. Now, of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of other situations that could play out, but I see a potential for $1 to $2.50 at the max. And of course, we'll see what happens from there. But just simply based off looking at a similar project, understanding that Base could be and is looking to be a big narrative this cycle, and then looking at what Moonwell's been doing, again, with the debit card, with $1 billion in total market size, I see big things for Moonwell, me personally. And yeah, it's definitely a coin that once I'm exited out of some short-term projects that I am in, which would be a couple of weeks from now, I will be having a nice bag in Moonwell. Again, to expect a potential, even a 50 cent price target for Moonwell, I think is conservative and is something that is within reach, just based off what the project is doing. The project is a good project. Coinbase is investing in this project. So I see the project doing pretty well, but we'll see what ends up happening. So again, no TA here today. I was going to go over in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to do that. More specifically, just because we see what problems come with technical analysis in terms of like short term, because leverage trading, for example, you could do good TA over the weekend, and then you had that market dip Monday, which influenced all of alts, wrecked a bunch of leverage trades. So TA is good for that short term leverage trading, but realistically, I'm just trying to find, and this is something Warren Buffett even talks about when he's investing in stocks. He tries to find good companies, then he places his money in. They have solid, fundamentals, everything. Moonwell is one of those that I feel is my safe bet. With all that being said, I'll see you guys later.